morning to all the students. This video for the class 7th, subject science, chapter number 7, that is weather, climate and adaptations of the animals to the climate. This is your lecture number 5th. In today's lecture, I am summarizing this chapter number 7, that is weather, climate and adaptations of animals to climate. So let's start with the first topic. So you must have seen the weather report in news channels or on TV also. So the weather refers to the day-to-day conditions of an atmosphere at a place with respect to temperature, humidity, rainfall, wind speed, sunshine, clouds, etc. of that place. We often listen to weather reports to know about the temperature, rain and humidity of the day and weather prediction for the next day. So weather is a very complex phenomenon and can vary in a very short period of time also. So depending upon these factors, weather can be sunny or cloudy, or it may be a rainy or windy, hot or cold, humid or dry also, because of these factors: temperature, humidity, rainfall, snowfall and a wind speed. Okay, so weather is a unpredictable too. It changes in a short span of a time. Okay, so this weather is very complex phenomenon and can vary in a short period of a time. Sometimes it changes many times during a day. For example, it could be a very hot in the morning, or it could be a very cloudy during the afternoon, rainy in the evening and cool at the night. So as you can see here in this picture, this is a picture of cloudy, here windy, here the rainy season. Next, moving on a second topic, that is weather report. This is a 1 week report. As you can see here, there are the different aspects of weather which are mentioned in this report. You can see here the temperature on Monday. On Tuesday the temperature is 28 degrees Celsius. On Wednesday the temperature will be 29 degrees Celsius. On Thursday 29 degrees Celsius and Friday 29 degrees Celsius. On Saturday it will be 29 degrees Celsius. Okay, moving on a third topic, that is the activity that we are going to perform. Firstly, I have an activity for you. What are you going to do? You have seen the weather report in newspaper, right? Then collect them for a 1 whole week or every single day. Once you have collect the weather report, make a table like this. As you can see here in this table, you have to mention the date, maximum temperature, minimum humidity and maximum humidity, and then rainfall. So once you have collect the weather report, make a table like this. Okay, once you make the table like this, write the date, write the maximum temperature, maximum humidity, minimum humidity, then rainfall. Okay, write it in these boxes and compare your observation for every single day. And one more thing, if there is no rainfall, then just keep it a blank. Weather report gave us some information for past 24 hours and prediction of weather, like maximum and the minimum temperature, humidity, rainfall, time of sunrise and time of sunset, wind speed, and the prediction of the weather for the next day. Weather report gives the following information for the past 24 hours and prediction of the weather for the next day. So these are the information that weather report gives us: the maximum and the minimum temperature, humidity, rainfall, time of the sunrise and sunset, wind speed, prediction of a weather for the next day. Okay. Moving on fourth topic, that is meteorology. What do you understand by meteorology? So, meteorological department collects the data on temperature, humidity, wind, etc. and makes the weather prediction. Or meteorology is the study of atmosphere. That is meteorology. Meteorology is the study of atmosphere. A meteorologist is a person who studies the weather. That is meteorologist who studies the weather condition. Okay. Next, weather experts use the computer technology and data from the earth stations and satellites to predict the weather. So, this is the meteorological department, that is IMD, Indian Meteorological Department, is a headquarter in Delhi and operates the 100 of observation stations across the India and Antarctica also. Okay. This IMD department is present in Delhi, that is the area is Lodi Garden. Okay. Next, moving on a fifth topic, that is temperature. So, temperature is a measure of the degree of hotness or coldness of an object. Maximum temperature represents the highest temperature reached during the day, and the minimum temperature represents the lowest temperature reached during the day. Next is the instrument to measure the temperature. The maximum and the minimum temperature recorded by a spatial thermometer. As you can see in this image, this is a spatial thermometer called the maximum and the minimum thermometer. It is U-shaped thermometer filled with the mercury. This red fluid is mercury. One arms record the maximum temperature and other one records the minimum temperature. So, the maximum and the minimum temperature keeps changing from day to day. In summer, the maximum temperature is generally in the afternoon and in minimum temperature is early in the morning. And one more thing, that is the maximum and the minimum temperature of the cities is normally higher than the temperature of the close by forest or the green areas. Okay, this is because cities have the more concrete structure which absorb and retain the heat for a long time, while trees in the green area have a cooling effect due to the transpiration. Okay, moving on next topic, that is humidity. So, humidity refers to the amount of water vapor or the moisture that is present in air. So, humidity is basically how much moisture and water vapor present in the air, that is humidity. Okay, there is always some amount of water vapor in the air and it keeps changing with the temperature and rainfall. So, humidity is measured by hygrometer. Humidity is measured by an instrument, that is hygrometer or psychrometer. This is hygrometer instrument that we can measure the humidity. Okay. Next, moving on a last topic, that is rainfall. Here the rainfall is measured by an instrument that is rain gauge. It consists of measuring cylinder in which rainwater gets collected and its level is is measured. Okay, so the greater the humidity, more the chances of rain. So as you can see here, it consists of measuring cylinder. This is your measuring cylinder, okay, where the rainwater gets collected and its level is measured. Do you have any idea about how the rainfall happens or how rainfall occurs? So first of all, that water that is present on the earth get evaporates, okay, and then goes up and it forms a cloud. The water that is present on the earth get evaporates and forms some clouds. This formation is condensation. Forming of cloud is condensation. From that cloud, rainfall falls on the surface of the earth. This is known as precipitation. This process, whole process, shows the rainfall. Okay. Next, rainfall is measured by an instrument that called rain gauge. This is the instrument, rain gauge. Now we are going to study the effects of sun in changing of weather. So the sun is a huge sphere of hot gases at a very high temperature. Although the distance of a sun from the earth is quite large, still the heat and the light energy emitted by the sun is so huge that it is source of the all heat and the light on the earth. So change in the weather occur due to the uneven heating of the surface of earth by the sun. Okay? So the sun radiates an immense amount of heat and light, and sun heat create the weather on the earth. As you know, when the sun shines, some part of the earth get heated more than other, then this create the difference in the temperature and pressure in a different part of the earth. Next, the sun energy absorbed and reflected by the earth's surface, ocean and the atmosphere plays an important role in determining the weather at a particular place. So here, the energy that is from the sun, that energy absorbed and reflected by the earth's surface, okay, the ocean and the atmosphere plays an important role in determining the weather at a particular place and the particular time. Okay, so the entire atmosphere surrounding the earth is in a constant motion due to the uneven heating and the spinning of earth on its own axis. That's why the heat energy absorbed by the surface of the earth, ocean and atmosphere plays an important role in determining the weather at a particular place. Okay, weather of a place near the sea is very different from the weather of a place on a mountain or in a desert. That's why it's important role in determining the weather at a particular place. Is climate. So the climate is the long-term average of weather, typically averaged over a period of 25 to 35 years. It's a long-term period of a weather. Here we have to take the periods of 25 to 35 years to make a climate report. Okay. Climate of a place depends on the position of a place on the earth. For example, the place near the equator have the hot climate and the place near the poles have the cold climate. Now, you might be thinking why it's hotter near the equator and colder near the poles? Because the equator is close to the sun and sun ray hit the earth's surface at a higher angle of the equator. That's why the place near the equator have the hot climate and the place near the poles have the cold climate. At the equator, the area that present at the equator are Brazil, Democratic Republic of Congo, Uganda, Kenya and Indonesia. These are the countries which are close to the equator. So in these areas the climate is always hot climate. Okay, near the poles we have the Canada, Greenland, Alaska and Arctic region. These are the nearest to the pole. That's why here in these regions have the cold climate. Next, climate also depends on the altitude of a place. For example, in coastal region at a sea level usually have a hot and wet climate, while mountain regions which are far above the sea level have the cool climate. As you can see here, the coastal region, here in this region they are the coastal region at a sea level. Here have the hot and the wet climate, while in the mountain region, this is your mountain region, Himalayan region, which are far above the sea level. This is the sea level, so it's a far above the sea. So here the level have the cool climate. Now let us study the climate condition of our two places in India. The first is Srinagar and Trivandrum. Okay, in Srinagar in Jammu and Kashmir is located in northern India and is close to the mountain. Hence it has a very cold climate. This is the picture of Srinagar. Here it has, Srinagar has a very cold climate. Next is Trivandrum. In Trivandrum, located in the southern India in a coastal region. Trivandrum located in the southern India in Kerala. Okay, it has a hot and a wet climate. By knowing the climate of a particular place in a state or a region, we can understand the climate of the whole state or that region. Okay, for example, as you can see here in this figure, Srinagar is a place in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. By studying the climate condition of Srinagar, we can estimate the general climate of Jammu and Kashmir. Okay, we can estimate the climate of Jammu and Kashmir region by studying the Srinagar climate. In the same way, similarly, Trivandrum is a place in a Kerala. By studying the climate condition in Trivandrum, we can estimate the climate of Kerala region. Okay, so the mean or the average temperature for the given month can be, we can calculate in these steps. For example, first we have to calculate the average of the temperature recording during a month. Okay, and calculate that. What we have to do? We have to first average of the temperature recorded during a month. Okay, and then we can calculate it. Then the average of such temperature over many years is calculated and thus give the mean temperature. In the same way, we can find out the temperature of mean temperature of Trivandrum. In the same way, first we have to the average of temperature recorded of a month and then calculated it. Then again average of such temperature over many years is calculated and this gives the mean temperature. Okay, by analyzing these two tables we can find the difference in the climate of Srinagar and Trivandrum. Analyzing these two tables we can find the difference in the climate of Srinagar and Trivandrum. From this one we can estimate the comparatively the state of Jammu and Kashmir has moderate temperature and wet climate for a part of the year, while the Kerala remains hot and wet for the most part of the year. Okay, Here in Jammu and Kashmir has the moderate temperature and wet climate. In Kerala, it's remain hot and wet for the most part of the year. Okay, in the same way we can study the similar data of a temperature and rainfall of Rajasthan. Okay, we will find that Rajasthan is very hot and dry for the most part of the year and has a typical desert climate. Okay, in the same way we can study the data of the northeastern India. We will find that the northeastern India has a moderate hot and wet climate. Okay, you have to collect the data of Rajasthan, make a table for the Rajasthan and another make a table for the northeastern India. Okay, and then again compare all these things, minimum temperature, and you have to calculate the mean temperature for the Rajasthan, the mean temperature for the northern east area. Okay, moving on a topic that is difference between weather and climate. We have discussed about the weather and climate also. So weather is the condition of the atmosphere in a specific place at a given point in a time. These atmospheric conditions may take place day by day, minute by minute or seasonally. In a weather, it's a very short period of a time which can easily vary. But in climate is a average weather condition over a place and it mostly take place after 30 years of time. We have to collect the data for the 30 years or 25 to 30 years. In weather may involve just one condition of the atmosphere, but in climate it includes all the conditions. Okay, such as temperature, precipitation, wind, humidity, cloud and pressure. In weather occurs in a place within a short period, but in climate takes place over a long period of a time. Okay, weather is what you get on a daily basis, but in climate what you expect over a long time. Weather changes within a short time, but climate changes within a very long time, and variation of a climate are very stable and may take decades or the century to occur. The scientific study of weather is meteorology, and the meteorologist studies the weather. The scientific study of climate is climatology, and the climatologist studies the climate. Next, moving on a third topic, that is factors that affect the climate. Now we are going to study the factor that affects the climate. So the first factor that affect the climate is water bodies. Second is atmospheric circulation. Third one is solar activity. Fourth one is earth motions, greenhouse effect, global warming. So in water body, there is a large water body such as lake, as you can see here in this picture. The lakes and the ocean have an important effect on the temperature of an area. Okay, because the temperature of the water body influences the temperature of the air that is present in the atmosphere. The temperature of the water body affects the temperature of the atmosphere. Okay. Second is atmospheric circulation. Here the global winds, these are the global winds, are the another factor that influence the climate because they distribute heat. You can see here they distribute some heat and moisture around the earth. That's why they affect the climate. Next we have the solar activity. When the sun is most active, it contains some dark blemishes called sunspots. The formation of sunspot appears to correspond with warm period in Europe and North America. That affects also a climate. Okay. So in detail, so the first we are going to discuss this water bodies. There are some large bodies of water such as lakes and oceans have an important effect on the temperature of an area, because the temperature of the body influence the temperature of the air that is present in atmosphere. Okay, the temperature of water body influence the temperature of air that is present in our atmosphere. Next is atmospheric circulation. There are some global winds are the another factor that influence our climate, because these winds disturb the heat and the moisture around the earth. Then they affect our climate. Next we have the solar activities. When the sun is most of the in an active phase, it contains some dark blemishes. Okay, so the formation of sunspot appears to correspond with warm period in Europe and North America and affect the climate. Next is earth motion. Geographical change in earth, land and water bodies changes in climate. Okay, here change in the shape of a earth orbit and the tilt of the earth on its axis are the other earth motion that affects our global climate. Okay, next we have the greenhouse effect. Greenhouse effect is a natural warming of a both earth lower temperature and earth surface from the solar radiation being absorbed and emitted by the atmosphere, that is greenhouse effect. In a simple term, greenhouse is a natural process that warms the earth's surface. Okay, when the sun energy reaches to this earth's surface, now some of the energy is reflected back to the space and rest is absorbed, and then the rest of the energy that re-radiates by the greenhouse gases. Okay, so the absorbed energy warms the atmosphere or warms the surface of the earth. This is greenhouse effect. Moving on a fourth topic of this lecture, or the last topic of this lecture, that is adaptation in polar region. First we are going to define the adaptation. What is adaptation? So the adaptation is the state of adjusting or changing to become more suited to an environment. Adaptation is to modify themselves for suited to that environment. That is adaptation. Okay, so we can say that adaptation is a evolutionary process where an organism becomes better able to live in that habitat. Okay, that is adaptation. Adaptation in polar region. Here in the polar region, these regions are present at the pole of the Earth's North Pole and the South Pole. Okay, they have extremely cold climate and remains covered with the snow. The temperature can be as low as minus 30 degrees Celsius to minus 40 degrees Celsius. They do not have sun continuously for the 6 months, so they hardly have any light during the day. Okay, there are some countries near the North Pole regions are Greenland, Ireland, Norway, Sweden, Denmark and Finland, also Alaska. These are the region, that country or the region that near to the North Pole. Okay, yeah, you can see Greenland, Ireland, Denmark, Alaska, and Finland also. So now we are studying the polar bear. In this chapter we will discuss the adaptation present in polar bear and a penguin or some migratory birds. Okay, so the polar bear are found in the North Pole region. Okay, so as you can see here, the adaptation of the polar bear. Polar bear feeds mainly only fish and seaweed. They have the white thick fur. Okay, you can see here white fur. They have the white thick fur. Polar bear has a thick white fur which helps it in two ways. First, it's being white in color, it matches with the surrounding and protect the animal from its predator. Okay, being two-layer, it keeps the polar bear warm in a cold weather. Okay, they have two layers. It keeps the polar bear warm in a cold weather. They have the fat layer. The fat layer underneath the skin that insulates the body against heat loss. Okay, they have sharp and the curved claws, which helps it walking on a slippery ice. They have the wide and large paws. They have also wide and large paws. They allow it to spread the weight of its body and walk with ease on a snow. That's why they have the wide and the large paws. Okay. And one more thing, they have a strong sense of a smell. It helps to locate and catch its prey for the food. And one more thing, they are good swimmer and can close to its nostril. Being a fast swimmer, polar bear is able to catch the food. They can easily catch their food while swimming. Polar bear can close its nostril to remain underwater for the long duration of a time. So these are the adaptation of a polar bear. We have already studied that they have the white thick fur. White thick fur because it matches with the surrounding and protect the animal from its predator. Okay, and they have the two layer. It keeps the polar bear warm in the cold weather. Then they have the fat layer. The fat layer underneath the skin that insulates their body against the heat loss. Okay. Next they have the sharp and the curved claws. They help it walk on a slippery ice. Then they have a very strong sense of smell. It helps it to locate and catch the prey for the food. That's why they have the strong sense of smell. Next, they are good swimmer. Being a fast swimmer, polar bear is able to catch the food, fish and the small animals, okay, easily in underwater. While swimming, polar bears can close its nostril to remain underwater for longer duration. Okay, and they have the wide and the large paws. So, the adaptations in polar region in adaptation in penguin. So this is a picture of a penguin. As you can see here, it is a white color in the front and a black color at the back. This white color merged well with the snow covered background. Okay, it has a thick skin with a lot of fat underneath that protects it from the extreme cold. Okay, now we are going to study some here adaptations of penguin in polar region. Penguin is a bird with a pair of wings. They have the flap-like wings and it doesn't fly and lives in the extreme cold. The climate at the South Pole region of the earth. Okay, it walks on ice with its 2 feet. They have the 2 feet and they walk on the ice with their 2 feet. It has a white color and the black at the back. The white color merges well with the snow covered background, okay, and then it has a thick skin with a lot of fat underneath that protects it from extreme cold. Okay, they have a solid bones that dive, move easily. They can easily dive, move in the water. Next, they have penguin remains in large group. They always remains in a large group because they huddled together to give the warmth to each other. That's why they are in a group. Penguins are good swimmer because they have the streamlined body, help to reduce the resistance, and waterproof feather. That's why they swim faster in the water. They are good swimmer. When the ice melts, large water ponds get formed, and being good swimmer, they are able to catch their food, mainly fishes, from the water. Okay, that's why they have the waterproof feather. Next, they have the streamlined bodies and flipper-like wings and webbed feet. As you know, they have a streamlined bodies and flipper-like wings and a webbed feet, which helps them to swim in water. Their webbed feet also allow them to walk on the ice with ease and give a better grip. Okay. They have a warm layer, the layer of overlapping feather coated with the oil. That's they provide a warmth and make the pocket of air underneath their feathers which hold the heat. Second, they have the protection. They move in the group, cord around the eggs, swimming zigzag through the water. They diet as krill, squid, and some fishes. Okay. Next topic is adaptation of migratory birds. Adaptation in polar region in migratory birds. So, migration means, as you can see in this picture, these are the cyber crane, or these are the migratory birds. So, polar birds are Siberian cranes and Arctic terns. So, the seasonal movement of the complete population of animals from one area to another area is termed as migration. Here, migration means moving of animal from one place to another place for food, shelter, and rearing of the young ones during the unfavorable condition, and coming back to the homeland when conditions become favorable is migration. Many birds living in a cold regions like the Arctic terns and the Siberian cranes, they migrate to the warmer region when the condition become very harsh during the snow cold winters. Okay, they travel thousands of miles to go to warmer region and come back to their homeland in summer. So the points, they migrate to warmer region when the conditions become very harsh during the snowy cold winters. They travel thousands of miles to go warmer regions and come back to their homeland in summer. When the conditions are favorable, they come back to their homeland. Okay. The Siberian crane must keep its body warm to survive in winter. Siberian cranes travel for more than 15,000 kilometers from Siberia to warmer place like in India, in Bharatpur in Rajasthan, and Sultanpur in Haryana, and some wetlands in the northeast Indian also. Okay. Next, adaptations in desert area. Here, hot and dry conditions are prevalent in desert areas. There is hardly any rain in desert area, so the climate is dry. A few animals which cannot withstand that condition, that hot and dry season, also go for the aestivation, that is summer sleep. Okay. In desert areas, animals like snake and kangaroos and rat also, they live in a burrows where it is cool and moist. They do not come out on the surface during the day, but there are few animals which cannot withstand that hot and dry season. Okay, then they go for the aestivation, that is summer sleep, because they become inactive and go for a long sleep in their burrows to escape the summer. When the weather is harsh and food is scarce, when the water is no longer available, then they go for a summer sleep, or they go for the long sleep in their burrows. Okay. Next we are going to study the adaptation in camel. The camel is an animal which travels around in such a climate, so it's also called as ship of the desert. So the adaptation in camels are, first they have a hump. That hump store the food in the form of fat, and they have the padded feet to allow the movement in the sand. Then they have the long eyelashes and nostrils. Okay, and these eyelashes and nostrils can be closed to keep the blowing scent out. Then the excretion of very little urine, dry dung, and also no precipitation helps them to conserve water. They have thick lips, they have the low breathing rate. These thick lips helps them to eat the dry plants of the desert, and the low breathing rate reduces the loss of water as a water vapor. And they have thick leathery patches on the knees because they protect them from getting burnt when they kneel on the hot desert sand, and the thick fur provide warmth during the cold desert night and insulation against the daytime heat. That's why they have the thick leathery patches on their knees. Here, as you can see in this picture, this is the hump that is present over here. It's a hill-like hump used to storing the fat, not water. They can go without eating for a long time by this hump. Next, they have the long and bristly eyelashes to keep out the sand and sun. Okay. Then, silt like a nostril, they are able to open and close to prevent the sand. That's why they have the silt like nostril. Then they have the leathery mouth, tough for chewing the thorny plants. And also they have the thick lips which help them to eat the dry plants of the desert. They have the webbed twin-toed feet to prevent it from sinking into the sand. And here you can see they have the leathery knee pads for kneeling. Okay? Or they have these leathery knee pad for knees to protect them from getting burnt when they kneel on the hot desert. Moving on, our third topic, that is adaptation of animals in rainforest region, in tropical rainforest region. Here, in tropical rainforest, they are located on the both the side of the equator regions. They get direct sunlight for most part of the day. Okay, and they have the hot, wet and humid climate also. During the hot summer days, the temperature can reach above 40 degrees Celsius. In winter, the temperature is generally higher than 15 degrees Celsius. And these regions get the plenty of rainfall throughout the year. These regions get the plenty of a rainfall throughout the year, and these regions have the thick green forest with a variety of plants and animals also. Tropical rainforests are found in Western Ghats and Assam in India, Southeast Asia, Central America and Central Africa. This is a picture of rainforest, tropical rainforest region. These regions have the thick green forest with a variety of plants and animals. Okay, there are some animals commonly found in tropical rainforest are monkeys and lion-tailed macaque, apes, frog, tigers, elephants, lizards, snake, birds and many type of insects also. Now we are studying the adaptation in animals living in the tropical rainforest. So the first animal is red-eyed frog. Here it has a green colored body that merges well with the green color of leaves in the background. This helps in escaping from the predator. That's why they have the green color body, because they can easily escape from the predators when they have the green color body. Then striking red eyes and sticky pads on its feet which scare the enemy away. It has the sticky pads on its feet that help it to climb on the tree easily. This is a red-eyed tree frog. They have a sticky tongue to catch the fly and other insects. They have a strong leg, helps the frog leap out of a danger, and large suction cups on feet help the frog climb trees and grasses. Okay, we can say they have the sticky pads on its feet that help to climb on the tree easily. Next is bird toucan. This bird toucan has a long and a large beak which helps it to reach the fruit on a weak branches. The bird with the short beaks cannot reach such branches. That's why the toucan gets an advantage with its long beak. These toucan are brightly colored birds with long, large and colorful beaks. As you can see in this picture, they are brightly colored birds with the long, large and a colorful beaks. Toucans live on a tree. They make their nest in a tree hollows and holes excavated by other animals. They are primarily frugivorous, that are fruit eating. Frugivorous means fruit eating birds, but also prey upon insects and small reptiles. They also feed on the insect and small reptiles. They have a long, large beak which help them to reach the fruit on branches easily. That's why they have the long beak. These are the adaptation of toucan. Next is big cats like lion and tigers. Lions and tigers have a strong sense of a smell which helps them to locate their prey. They have sharp hearing power, so they can easily hear even a slight movement in the forest. That's why they have a sharp hearing power, and they have a sharp eyesight that helps them to hunt for the prey. This is a picture of tiger, and one more thing, their skin color helps them to merge with the surrounding. These are the adaptations of lion and tiger. Next is lion-tailed macaque. lion-tailed macaque has a striking silver-white mane that surrounds the head from the cheeks down to the chin. These lion-tailed macaque are also known as beard ape. Beard ape feeds on fruits, birds and flowers from the tree. This is a picture of lion-tailed macaque. It rarely comes down as it finds its food on the tree. It also feeds on insects that present under the bark of the tree. Okay, they are found exclusively in the Western Ghats mountain of southern Western India. Okay, in the upper canopy of tropical evergreen and monsoon forest. Then their population are declining day by day because they are threatened by the habitat fragmentation, hunting and some pet trees. So that's why their population are declining day by day. So these are the adaptation in lion-tailed macaque. Next is adaptations in elephants in tropical rainforest. It has large trunks. Its tusks are modified steeds and they have large ears. As you can see in this picture, they have the large ears and the tusk is modified teeth, okay, and has a large trunk. Now I am giving you the homework of the lecture number 5. This is your homework of lecture number 5. What you have to do, you have to solve the assignment of chapter number 7, okay, that have been uploaded on the AdQuack site. You can check this assignment from that site, okay, and solve this assignment and submit on my Gmail ID. So yeah, this is it about this lecture. Thank you and have a nice day.